Alright, this update is all about doing floorboards and trunk pan. Something that's not fun. They do make floor pans for the Studebaker and trunk pans, but with our custom frame, none of those would work right, plus the way we redid the rear wheel wells, so we ended up fabbing our own. Take a look at that.
Okay.
Alright, we're cutting the back of the floorboards out to make it easier for when we make the floorboards, like we've already started making those up there. And then we're gonna drill these spot welds out from inside here instead of outside, and then make all new floor pans from there down. So this is where we're at. We finished cutting out the back piece here, and we started working on a pattern for the rear floorboards. Came up with this. We're gonna have to bend it down here and bend it up here, and that'll be the back. I did a little bit of bead roller work on it there, give it a little extra strength and a little bit of a design, and then we'll figure something to do with this blank canvas later. Alright, here's the left rear floor pan. Got it bead rolled out, and we're taking it tomorrow to have Chris Lowry see if he can bend this up at a 40-degree angle and bend that down at a 45. You can see the panel's a little bit warped. Hopefully bending it will help take some of that out. Buddy Chris Lowry bent this for us. Came out pretty good. And then I trimmed her up a little bit around here and a little bit around where the roll bar is. And you can see over here how it fits in.
Okay.
Alright, it goes in here. Just like this. Down on the body mount there. Push it back there. Still got to do just a little bit of trimming here, and then we'll butt weld that all the way over, and that's where that is. And then today we got this all bead rolled out and cut out to match. Now we just got to get it bent there, mark off where the roll bar is and drill a hole in it, and the rear part of the floor pan should be ready to weld in. Alright, we're experimenting, trying to do some mandrel type bends without a mandrel bender. And this is what we started off with, this 1 5/8" chromoly tubing. Packed it full of sand and just duct taped the ends of it. Put it in our tube bender right there, just a regular old pipe bender. And this is the result. It's a kink-free bend that you couldn't tell the difference if it was mandrel bent or not. In fact, it looks better than what mandrel bends we have been getting. So we're happy with that turnout. Started working a little bit back here on the trunk floor of the Studebaker. I'm trying to get this hole filled in here first, so we just made up a simple pattern, and then drew it out on metal and put a couple little beads in it here to give a little added strength. Made the beads pop out from the top because it's going to be sitting right on top of here. If you have the beads down below, it ain't going to sit right. So got that piece there made up. We did a little bit of brain work on the roll cage. Then next step is to get little pieces made in for here. And then after we'll set the roll bar up here like it would be when we install it. And that way we can make up just 2 more panels that will fit in here. We're going to set them 2 pieces in there and weld them in and be done with it. We're putting a little filler panel in here where we had cut it out previously, where it was all rotted out. That little hole up there, we cut it out. It was a bead roll from the factory that didn't line up with anything, so we'll just patch that up with a flat sheet. That we're just going to put a round cover over it with a bolt hole in case we need it for something in the future. And got this side all tacked and cool it between each couple of tacks with the air, and you can see we got the rest of the clamps over there still yet to go. Then we'll have to grind these down and go in between them a couple different times before it's fully welded. And you can see over there it's a little bit off to here. So we'll have to draw a straight line across there over to here, because this side's actually further back. And we'll cut it off and we'll be straight across for the next piece when we patch it in. Alright, we ended up getting this piece tacked in. Still got a lot of welding left to do, as you can see. Got that piece put in right there where we cut out from the factory bead roll. Then we went ahead and measured this piece left to right because we knew it wasn't square. And we drew a line off and ended up cutting it straight left to right. Next thing to do is to make small panels to go right in there on each side. Get those made, and then we can pre-make the rest of the trunk pan. So that's probably what we'll work on next, right? Those pieces there, and then the rest of the trunk. Alright, here's these pieces we're getting in on the corners in the car. I used a bead roller, rolled a lip on it, and then had to slit it and then weld the slit up. And it came out pretty good. Alright, here's that piece. We got it clamped up. Unfortunately, got a little bit of a gap there. I think we can fill it though. And then we got holes punched in the side there to do a plug weld on it. Got everything pretty level right there, so we're going to start welding her up. We got that piece there tacked in. Still got to do some grinding and a little bit more welding. And then that piece there will be in. We've got this piece here cut out and clamped in a million positions to keep it straight, flat, level, true, and everything else under the sun. A few clamps out here, hold it against the body. Drilled some holes in there so we can just plug weld it there. And then we'll just weld her across right there. Fill that in. We got this patch panel here welded in and ground down today. We still got to do a little bit of shrinking on the panel. As you can see, it's kind of got a little bit of warp to it. But we'll use a torch, some water, and hammer and dolly, and we'll get that thing pretty straight. But before we move on to the next section, which will be the rest of the floor pan. This is that piece we had tacked in the last time. We went ahead and fully welded it, ground it down, and then we've been working a little bit on shrinking and stretching it because it has a little bit of oil canning. And then we ended up welding underneath here. I'll show you later when we pull this back out. There's a 3/4 inch thick, no, 3/8 thick by 3/4 inch wide, I believe. No, it's not. Anyways, I don't remember what size it is. I think it's 3/4 by 1 or 3/8 by 1, something like that. Welded underneath there to give that support and give this a seam to weld to under there. And then we started working on this trunk pan here. I had our buddy Chris give us 90 degrees on the side, and he cut it a little bit for us. And then I took and bead rolled a lip under it right there, so it'll match up fairly flush with here. A little tight right here, still gotta do a little more modification, grinding down in there. And then we should be able to get this back where we need it. And a little bit more cutting over here. Then do some bead roll work, and this piece here should be done. You can stuff it down there.
Yep. Just gonna have to come back a little here at them.
Yeah, it always does.
Hey, how about a block of wood down there and tap that thing a little bit first? Maybe that'll help any?
How's that look?
I think we put a board or something, or jacked it up slightly, get it up all the way a little bit more. Down about an 1/8 inch, maybe max, maybe not. Actually, like right there needs to come up slightly. Maybe there would bring it up some.
We finished out getting the lip welded in here for the trunk floor to get supported on. Makes it a lot easier instead of butt welding it and grinding it. We got the floor pan and the trunk almost totally fitted. The last thing we did was work on getting the hole cut in the floor for the roll cage. You can slide the bar down in it after the trunk and everything is welded up. Underneath here we also put in a piece of metal. I believe it is 1 inch wide or 2 inches wide. 3/4 by 2 inches wide under here for extra support, and we'll be able to rivet here where the other gas tank supports are, as well as in the middle. We still have this here to do for the roll cage, and the trunk floor fitting will pretty much be done, and we can move on to the fuel fill. We got the other tube fit in over there, so we're pretty much done with the pan, other than putting a little patch piece in it right there on each side and welding it in and building a tunnel where the fill neck's going to go. Alright, that's going to do it for this update. As you can see, we're coming along pretty good. First time I've ever made floor pans. The bead roller came in real handy for that, and also having some friends that have a sheet metal brake, sheet metal brake will help you out too. What you just saw doesn't happen very quick. It takes quite a while to do that stuff, make up your patterns. Got a couple weeks just in what you've seen there. So keep that in mind when you go to build your own car. You're not going to put floor pans in it overnight unless you buy factory ones and you've done it multiple times. So anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, please like and subscribe.